So thank you so much for joining. I think people are joining in, but we should start because it's already 6 o'clock. So thank you so much for joining. Good morning to all Indian participants and good evening for all American participants. So we'll start the session. This is a wellness seminar by IWSP team. This is a pre-session for IWSP batch 4. So some of you might have attended session 1, 2, 3, but this is a pre-session for batch 4. So the agenda for today is this. We'll be introducing the facilitators, followed by introduction talk by Dr. Sushil, and any question and answer to him about the program and how it is going to be in his content can be handled in his talk, and followed by the Swamiji's talk on yoga, dhyana, pranayama, followed by again question and answer. Then again, please wait. I'll come back. What is the next step and how to do that, when to do that. So the next step, I'll be taking it up at the end. So many of you might be knowing our facilitators, but many of you are all new also. So introduction of this team. Swamiji, Swami Daya Daipananta, he's a doctor by profession. He's a diabetologist. And he studied his, medical, he completed his education in Karnataka, but he moved to Haridwar. He is heading the Ramakrishna Mission Hospital in Haridwar. And he's a monk in the order of Ramakrishna Mission. So the beauty of his, education and professions, a lot of things are, he explains yoga, pranayama, dhyana in a very scientific way. From doctor's mouth. So you'll be finding it very, very interesting. He's one of our key facilitators. Welcome, Swamiji. Dr. Sushil Sharma, he is an Indian, studied in India, later moved to UK for further studies, and then down in US. He's a cardiologist, has got about 40 years of experience, and then later his passion took him into the wellness coach, because he see all this work, whatever he's doing it with respect to open surgery and putting the stents, they're all avoidable by changing certain things. That is what he's going to talk about. So thank you, Dr. Sharma, for joining in.
Thank you.
And Dr. Subrata, he's a doctor, but not a medical doctor. He's an engineer and PhD in British University. He's the alumni of IIT Kanpur and NIT Durgapur. He also heads CDAC Bangalore, and he's retired now. And he'll be heading the IWSP and CeRIMed research wing. And thank you so much, Dr. Subrata, for joining in. Anirban Datta, unfortunately, he is unable to join today, and we'll be hoping him that he'll be joining in another few sessions. And he's again a Fulbright scholar with a stint in Carnegie Mellon Tipper School of Business, and he's a mechanical engineer by profession of NIT. He spent almost 40 years of his life in national, especially companies like Volvo. But now he is associated with specially abled children, running a non-profit organization along with his wife. This is me. So I'm an engineer, but who has an MBA in operations. So I handle the back-end part of this particular team. Karthikeyan is another young engineer in our team. So you may see a combination of doctors and engineer in this team. So Karthikeyan is a youngster who handles the back-end IT part of it. So thank you, Karthikeyan, for joining in. So now I'll hand it over to Dr. Sushil for his introduction talk. Dr. Sharma, over to you.
Thank you very much. Before I begin this program, first of all, please accept my heartfelt gratitude for being part of it and expressing this confidence that we would be able to provide you with the information that will help you change your lifestyle and get wellness in your life. And before I begin, really, there is a pandemic which is ravaging the world. In fact, right now, more so in India. And my condolences for all those that suffered personal loss and for those that are suffering with disease and disability. I also want to express my gratitude to everybody, right from the ward boy to the nurses, to the paramedics and pharmacists and the physicians who are putting in tireless work uh, in saving lives. And our Swamiji, Dr. Deadipananda, also is managing a 200-bedded hospital in Haridwar, and he has dedicated 150 beds to COVID's patient and is tirelessly working and saving lives. So my heartfelt gratitude and my pranam also to Swamiji. Uh, there is another reason why I am talking about this, and I really urge you all to take every possible precaution, including social isolation and mask, as well as vaccination. There should not be any bravado here, and really I'll extend my neck as far as out to say that if you are not taking precautions and you're not taking vaccine, you are really being selfish, because if you get an infection and you can say, okay, I can weather the storm or I can weather the infection, but the unfortunate fact is that before you develop the symptoms in that 3 days or 4 days of incubation period, you would have infected 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 more people around you. So you have a responsibility to them, you have a responsibility to the society, and you have a responsibility to the nation to help control the infection. Please take precautions and please take vaccination. There is no bravado there. Now, you might have also read this in the press. There is a certain group of people that are actually doing much worse with COVID-19. You must have seen these young people. They actually get better pretty fast. And most of the mortality is in older age group, and also in people that are obese. Obesity means overweight or diabetic, have high blood pressure or heart disease. So these 5 groups were identified as high-risk patients that have more complications from the infection, have longer duration of illness, have more symptoms after the illness is gone, have more long-term consequences, and also higher mortality. Now, 4 of these, obesity, diabetes, high blood pressure, and heart disease, you're going to hear from me over and over again. And these are called lifestyle diseases that I'll expand on as we go along. Now, you will also find out from this that just by optimizing your obesity, your diabetes, your high blood pressure, and your heart disease, you are getting the maximum immunity against the COVID-19. If you really want to defeat COVID-19, the best possible thing is lifestyle change. It is a good time to begin, although we are telling you lifestyle change for other reasons, which are also equally useful. So you may have heard about these risk factors. So what risk factors are, if you have male gender, as your age advances, if you have family history, or you have blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, or you have certain life habits. For example, you're obese, inactive, unhealthy, or smoker, or you have stress. All these predispose you to heart disease. And these are conventionally called risk factors. So if you go to your doctor and say, doctor, I don't want to have heart disease, I don't want to have a heart attack, I don't want to have a stroke or cancer or any of those chronic illnesses, chronic kidney disease, he'll say, well, okay, let me check you out. And he checks you out and he finds out, okay, you have 1, 2, 3, or 4 of these factors, and they call them risk factors. And then they give you appropriate measures with medications for treatment. And so far, so good. It's very good. You must optimize your risk factors, and there are multiple studies that have been done that if you control these risk factors, such as blood pressure with medications, diabetes with medications, or insulin, cholesterol with medications, then you do decrease your chances of getting heart attack, stroke, and certain cancers and chronic kidney disease and chronic lung disease. There's no doubt about it. But why are you here in this program is we are saying to you that yes, there is a cause for heart attack, which is blood pressure, diabetes, and cholesterol, but there's also a cause for the cause. why do you get blood pressure? Why do you get diabetes? And why do you get cholesterol? And is there anything that you can do to prevent it from happening in the first place? Or if it has happened, optimizing it by doing certain changes in your lifestyle so that they get better. Or in some cases, by very judiciously following a strict lifestyle, you could eliminate medications altogether. So you have not only optimized and controlled your risk factors, you also eliminated them. So this is what we mean by not just treating the cause, but treating the cause of the cause. So what lifestyle change that you're going to see with us, you're going to see this in two different formats. Today, you're seeing the introduction to a 12 session, 3-week program, which we call as IWSP program that you're going to participate after the introduction. In addition, once you have done that basic IWSP, then you do an IWSP Live, and we actually meet every 2 weeks and continue this. So our goal is not just to do some simple changes in your lifestyle to just control your blood pressure, just control your diabetes a little bit, control your heart failure a little bit, is to really transform your lifestyle so that you completely eliminate these illnesses. So this is going to be a journey that is going to take you from IWSP basic and then advance you IWSP Life. And I hope that we all will do it together because we all do it for ourselves also, and we all benefit from it. So we call it integrated wellness, science, and practice. What do we really mean by it? Well, body and mind is where all these illnesses are actually felt, experienced, and seen. But you really have to work at 3 levels, not just the body and mind, but also at the spirit level. So a unique aspect of our program is that there is a great emphasis on spirit. Now, we all define spirit in many different ways, but I will stay very, very basic here because I'm talking about spirit and its relevance to bodily wellness and mental wellness. Now, we all have experienced that. You have experienced that there is something other than mind and body in us, and you have an experience of the third force or third energy all the time. Some days you wake up with the same mind and same body and you're very energetic, other days you're not. So why is it that with the same mind and same body that you have, your energy level is different on different days? There is something else beyond this psychophysical energy complex that you have. There's a third factor. It is part of your experience, and if you delve in it deeply, it becomes more and more obvious to you. Now, again, let's say you have arthritis in your knee and you're hurting. It's bad arthritis and you're taking medications, you're in pain, and you're discussing with somebody, you're describing to him how painful your knee problem is, you can't walk, you can't do this, you can't do that. And the next minute, your 2-year-old child or your grandson jumps in your lap. Suddenly, you look in the eyes of this child, right? The beautiful child, smile, sparkling eyes. Suddenly, all discussion changes. You forgot all about it. There is no pain. Now, yes, you can call it scientifically that, oh, this is basically nothing but gate theory of pain transformation because you switch from one to the other and the pain disappears. Yes, it is. Or you could say in the yogic sense, well, this is Pratipaksh Bhavanam, this is one of the ways of dealing with that. But if you really think about it, why did your mind suddenly become joyful when you saw the 2-year-old child and until a minute ago, you were in pain? Mind is inert, just like body. There is something behind the mind. There's something that's sparked inside you. And that again is your spirit. So this third force you experience on daily basis all the time, but this spirit, this force can be awakened more. And once this is awakened, you really get true wellness. Now, there are many levels of this. At my level, at this level, it's basically a mind-body thing for me for wellness. But then for the yogis, it's a different level. For mystics, it's even a higher level. For saints, it's higher level. But suffice to say that at our level, we can all amplify this experience by practicing the yoga, the meditation, the pranayama, which obviously Swamiji is going to expand on today and also actually doing with you live. And by the way, I've been doing this with Swamiji for a long time and I benefited a lot. And we have done 3 sessions already. Over 500 people have attended these sessions and they love it. And almost 100 of them have actually gone ahead and signed up for IWSP Live, where they would do this with us every 2 weeks, where we talk about science, we talk about great researches that are needed for our wellness, and we combine that with the ancient wisdom of how to do meditation and yoga and pranayama. And that is what we mean by integrated wellness. It's not just enough to have something done for your mind to distract it or to make it happy by doing certain tricks or to make your body well by taking some medications. It's really doing comprehensive wellness that includes mind, body, and spirit. So what is lifestyle? I've been talking about this lifestyle for so long. It's very simple. In a very simple way, the way you live, the way you eat, the way you move, and the way you think. It's how you are conducting yourself on a daily basis. It's no more complex than that. And within that, there are certain things that you're doing, there's certain way that you're doing them that really determines what impact that lifestyle has on your inner organs. Because your food, your activity or lack thereof, your rest or lack of rest, poor sleep, or a stressed mind or a mind that has some bad habits that you ruminate all the time and you do stress eating and you do wrong food eating. All these things have an impact, not just external, but also internal. And that is what we're going to discuss with you in various different sessions, how when you eat, the food goes from where to where and does what in the body. Once you have a comprehensive understanding of the science, the inner organs, the science of the inner mind, you will then be able to understand why your external nature really determines also your internal nature. And to have comprehensive wellness, you have to change both internal nature as well as external nature. And when you change these two natures together by right living, right eating, right moving, and right thinking, you are leading a right lifestyle. So I want you to remember this 80% figure for the next 4 slides, because this will keep coming. And I'm doing just this to really stress upon the fact how important it is for you to understand lifestyle and how important it is for you to actually modify lifestyle. So whether you know it or not, 80% of us at some point or another in our lifetime are going to have one of these 9 lifestyle problems: high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, overweight, heart attack, stroke, dementia, kidney disease, some cancer. All of us. My father had diabetes, high blood pressure, and he had heart attack. My mother had diabetes, high blood pressure, and she had heart attack. My brother had a heart attack and he had high blood pressure. I have high cholesterol. So in one shape or form, we are all going to have one or more of these. And therefore, it's very important to understand that what is it that you can then do to change them? How can you prevent them? How can you avoid them? How can you minimize them? That's what you're here for. Unfortunately, 80% of us are also going to die either as a direct consequence of these 9 lifestyle illnesses or an indirect consequence. We may end up dying of a chronic kidney disease on a dialysis or post-transplant, but that kidney disease happened because we had high blood pressure, diabetes, and cholesterol to begin with. Same way with stroke and some cancers. So it doesn't matter what is the mode that we die from, but 80% of us are going to die from the consequence of it. And 20% are going to die for other causes, for example, infection or accident or tragedies or some other cancers. Now, you also have to understand why it's important from financial point of view. 80% of your entire health budget of life is going to be spent on managing these 9 problems. These are lifestyle related problems, the avoidable problems that we're talking about. And let me throw at you one more statistics, which is really an American statistics, because in America, Medicare keeps a very good account of how much money is spent where. And you will be astonished to know that 50% of the entire lifetime health budget of an American is spent on last 6 months of his life. So if you are going to spend $1 million on your health for entire life, $500,000 is just spent on the last 6 months. And that is spent on managing the ravages of these lifestyle illnesses, whether it's your smoking that led to COPD and you're now in the intensive care on a ventilator, or it's your blood pressure and diabetes that caused the stroke and now you're going through rehab or going through expensive surgeries, or it's your overweight, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and diabetes that cause heart attack, and now you're having heart failure and undergoing a cardiac transplantation or expensive cardiac procedures. So this is enormous financial burden on you. And therefore, if you manage these effectively through lifestyle modification, you're really doing a great saving. Your biggest saving in life is going to come from modifying your lifestyle and having a healthy, integrated wellness, which is going to save you a lot of money that you can then spend in different areas to have more benefit in your life. Well, those three were actually somewhat depressing statistics, but this is a heartening statistics. It's very heartening to know that with the program that we have, which actually comprehensively modifies your lifestyle by doing appropriate measures and changes in your life, 80% of these diseases can either be managed or cured or improved. These are all the statistics that I'm giving you are from CDC America. These are not some figments of somebody's imagination. This is not my opinion. This is not my claim. These are scientifically published studies that have looked at these and seen that people that do comprehensive change in their lifestyle and stick with it long term can actually take care of all these illnesses. And I'm going to walk you through a couple of them to prove to you that that indeed is the case and why you should be doing it. So this is actually, these are the pictures of what is called a coronary angiogram. So what you're seeing is three sets of three different patients before and after. And this is one of the first studies that were done where they found out a lot of patients that had severe blockages and they were disabled and they couldn't move. And they were told that the only way possible now is for you to go 3, 4, 5, or 6 vessel bypass surgery. And they decided not to go for it. And they said, we will change our lifestyle. Now, this was a very aggressive lifestyle change that was done in these people. But you can see from these how the blockages got better just by the lifestyle change. And they avoided the bypass. So it is possible. It is possible by aggressive lifestyle change, not only to prevent the blockages coming into your coronary arteries, but also to arrest them and to reverse them. And this was a scientifically published study by Dr. Esselstyn from Cleveland Clinic. And then the others that I followed up with similar observations. And therefore, what we're talking about is not something based on opinions or dogmas. We're talking about something proven scientifically in real patients. So really, angiogram is what I also, by the way, do for a living, and I did for a living for the last 35, 40 years. So just a little background of how I came into this integrated wellness and DASH program and how you and I are connecting here today. Naresh already told you I did my undergrad from India, and then I spent 7 years in England. I did my membership there, and I also did my cardiology fellowship. And then I moved to the United States at Henry Ford Heart and Vascular Institute, where I did my interventional fellowship. And then onwards from 93 until now, I've been practicing as a cardiologist. And I've been doing these cardiac procedures, heart catheterizations, pacemakers, stents, atherectomies, rotational atherectomies, and all these procedures. And I've seen thousands and thousands and thousands of these blocked arteries in different shapes and forms. But I made some observations. One observation I made was that after a while, a lot of these people are repeat customers. So really what this stent or angioplasty or bypass does, it puts on a Band-Aid, and 3 or 4 or 5 years later, if you don't change your lifestyle, you're coming back again to have same procedure done. And these are, by the way, expensive procedures. So this is what made me look at something beyond. Is there a cause of the cause? Yes, there is a blockage in the artery. The cause is the cholesterol deposition. But is there another way of treating this cholesterol deposition, preventing it from coming there in the first place? And that is what lifestyle transformation is. So that's what got me into that. But at the same time, also notice, and I already shared with you my life, my family history. I do have a family history of heart attack and blood pressure and diabetes and cholesterol. So it's not rocket science to know that at some point I may suffer all these also. And when I looked at my cholesterol, and that was high too. So that was the other alarm bell that rang in my ears. And then something else happened. My best friend, we did high school together, undergrad together, postgrad, and then he's a cardiologist. I came to US, he studied in India. He died seeing his patients in the middle of his office, he slumped over and he died of a heart attack. And that was heartbreaking. This is what really changed me completely. And although I changed my lifestyle, as I told you, but this was the turning point. And from then on, I vowed to do prevention, not just for me, but also for people around me and my patients. So I've been doing that for many years and doing it with my patients here in America. And then last year, an opportunity came. I connected with Swamiji. Swamiji runs this hospital in Kankal, which is very dear to my heart for many reasons. So I said, Swamiji, I want to come over and volunteer for a month in your hospital. And obviously, he welcomed me. I went there and then I shared with him my ideas of these prevention and all that. And he told me, oh, this is actually exactly what I want to do it too. And so two of us actually clicked right there. And we actually started the baseline of this program there. And we did it together for 1 month. We said, okay, we'll get our own parameters. We'll check our blood pressure, our cholesterol, our blood sugar, and then we'll do it for a month on ourselves. So that if we present it to somebody, we are presenting something that we ourselves experience. So we had a beautiful time together in Kankal. We wake up at 4:30 in the morning, freshen up, do a meditation from 5 to 6 o'clock, get on our bikes, bike out, and it's very beautiful hills in Kankal, and you bike 6-7 miles, you go to some Ganga Ghat. We lay down our mats there and do a yoga, dhyana, pranayama for 1.5 hours. And Swamiji taught me all those asanas and pranayamas and yogas, everything I learned from him. And obviously you're going to learn it too. I did it for 1 month, every day, 90 minutes minimum. And then we come back and we change the diet that we're going to share with you when we do the program. And then we took some rest, went to the hospital, volunteered in the evening. We got together. We had some programs that we did with other people on prevention. And then we looked at our numbers and we were astounded. We were already doing very good and have very good numbers. And over and above that, we had another 20% improvement. So we were convinced that this is real. And then somehow we started talking about this and we got together with these 3 beautiful engineers in India, Anirban, Subratoji and Nareshji, and they were also interested in this. And the first IWSP was born. We did the first program and they also saw benefit. And they got energized and said, oh, let's do another one. So here we are with 3 of these IWSPs that we have done with 500 people. And now 100 of them have joined us as life members, and we are doing it all together. And in addition, Swamiji also, by the way, is a diabetologist by training. Swamiji wears many hats other than being a monk. And he manages 300 to 400 diabetic children. These are type 1 diabetic children. So he also went ahead and discussed these lifestyle measures and yoga, dhyana, pranayama with him and saw changes in those children. So we were convinced what we're doing is real, scientific. We are bringing in cutting edge science, combining it with the ancient wisdom of the yoga, presenting a comprehensive program for wellness, which really has tangible benefits that if you do it for 4 weeks, you see a change in yourself right away. And by the way, there is no force greater than an active experience for motivation. So once you do it, you will experience, you will see the changes in you, and that will be your greatest motivational force for it. So just tell you, what do you mean by cause the cause? So I just put this cartoon here. This could very well also be a woman. I'm not sexist in any way, and I'm also not body shaming just because she's looking the way she's looking, but actually even men have obesity, and this truncal obesity this woman has actually is more prevalent in men. And men that have truncal obesity has a very high chance of getting heart attack and strokes and blood pressure and diabetes and cholesterol. In fact, and you'll hear from me again, and I tell people, somebody comes to me and says, doctor, what is the cheapest way for me to know whether I will or I will not have a heart attack? I do or do not have blockage in my arteries. I tell them very simple. Get on in your underwear in the morning, go in your bathroom, stand in front of the mirror sideways and look at yourself. If your belly is in front of your chest, you have truncal obesity. If you have truncal obesity, if there's fat in your trunk, There's absolutely fat in your coronary arteries. As simple as that. So you don't have to do any expensive testing or go to some famous cardiologist somewhere in the world or America. You just stand in front of the mirror, look at yourself. If your belly's in front of your chest, you have fat deposition already. You haven't suffered a heart attack yet. You haven't had any problem yet, but that it should be a call to you, a call to action that you need to take care of that. Anyway, so she has this problem. She has obesity, right? Well, you say, oh yeah, well, we know why she has it because there's too much fat in the body. So what can we do? Well, we can take care of the fat, right? That's one solution. A lot of people go for that, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I'll tell you, that is just treating the cause, not treating the cause of the cause. So this woman looks like this. And now you're going to say, oh my God, how did this happen? It's amazing. Where's all the fat gone? So she'll tell you slowly, well, I took some pills and these pills kill my appetite. And, I took them and I lost some weight from that. Oh, why did you stop it? Well, my cardiologist told me that some of these pills actually can also attack the heart valves, especially the mitral valve, and the valve can get damaged and they can get heart failure. So I got scared, but then I went to the hormones and I started taking those hormone injections to burn fat. And that also made me lose a lot of fat. They're very good. But then I found out that all these hormones, actually, when they go inside the body, they all cause side effects. I got a little scared. I said, okay, well, I did that. It works, but let me not do this. And then some surgeon said, well, there's an easy way. You can just go ahead and clip your stomach. Do a bypass surgery or do a bypass clip and shrink your stomach. And then you can't eat and the appetite will go down and then you lose fat. So that is how I also lost a lot of fat. But then I was still left with some fat around my waist, and for vanity reasons, I thought I want to really look better. So I went to a plastic surgeon. And he removed he just sucked it out, liposuction. There are many ways to do it, cold sculpting, hot sculpting. There are many different ways. They can really take all the fat from all the places from your body and make you look beautiful. And that's how she looked. But that's how she's looking to you and smiling in front of you. But what is happening inside? Well, there are problems coming from the gastric bypass and the medications and the hormones. There's nausea, there's dizziness, low sugar, malnutrition, complications of surgery, stricture, ulcers, gallstone, hernia, bowel obstruction. All these things are happening. Yes, your outside looks beautiful, but you have really done nothing to your inside. So although you lost 70 pounds in weight, you look like a Bollywood star, but your risk of heart attack, your risk of stroke, your risk of cancer has not changed because you have only removed fat that was visible outside, but not the fat that's in your liver causing fatty liver and diabetes, fat in your pancreas causing diabetes and diabetes, fat in your arteries causing heart attack, and fat in your carotid arteries causing strokes. So what do we say? We say, yes, you have obesity, right? You have overweight, but the cause is too much fat. But we think the solution is not just remove that fat by some artificial means. The solution really is treat the cause of the cause. And why is it that there is fat? There is fat because there is something wrong in the lifestyle. There's something that if you change in your lifestyle, and if you change that thing in your lifestyle, you're not only going to lose weight, you're also going to control your blood pressure, your diabetes, your cholesterol, lower your risk of heart attack, stroke, cancer, dementia, kidney failure. Now, you may not look like the other woman that I showed you on the right-hand panel, may not be as slim as her, may not be as looking as her in terms of vanity, but you have a beautiful inside. Inside, you are much better with your clean liver, clean heart, clean coronary arteries, clean carotid arteries. And that is the difference between changing the lifestyle and controlling the cause of these things, the blood pressure and diabetes. Because when you go to your doctor and you say, doctor, I have blood pressure. Well, why do I have blood pressure? Well, it happens, your mother had it, right? Your father had it, right? Take this pill, go. Go back, doctor, it's not controlled. Well, take this pill, right? This is what happens. So let's say you have headache. You went to your doctor. You checked your blood pressure. So, it's very high. So, doctor, what should I do? Well, you need to take a pill. Well, if your blood pressure is around 145/90, he'll give you one capsule. But if it's 160 or 100, remember, one pill of blood pressure of one type lowers your blood pressure by only 10 to 15 millimeters of mercury. So if 140 is the desirable blood pressure that you need to achieve, if you're 155, you will need one medication. But if you're 160, you're now going to need two medications. It's plain simple titration. They have a limit. No single blood pressure medicine can lower your blood pressure more than 15 millimeters of mercury. So if it is over 175, you need the third medication. Because remember I told you every 10 to 15 millimeter blood pressure above 140 needs one medication. Now you're taking three medicines to control your blood pressure. So that's one way to do it, right? And it's possible that with these three blood pressures, you will be able to bring your blood pressure down and you will be able to avoid a heart attack. But then you have not really treated the blood pressure. You have just suppressed it, you managed it, you brought it down with medications whose side effects you're suffering. And sooner or later, it's going to get higher and higher, and you're going to need more and more medicine, and you go through that cycle. Well, that is one way to treat blood pressure. I'm going to tell you another way that you can treat exactly the same amount of blood pressure, 40 millimeter high blood pressure. So blood pressure is 180 millimeter of mercury. You can bring it down to 140 millimeter of mercury systolic, which means you can eliminate 3 blood pressure medicines just by changing your lifestyle. So if you lose 1 kilogram in weight, it drops your blood pressure by 1 millimeter of mercury. There's a ceiling. The maximum you can lose is 5 millimeter. You should still lose weight. It's good to lose weight for other reasons, but for blood pressure, there's a ceiling. You lose 5 millimeters. To switch to a healthy diet that we'll talk about in detail in our program, the plant-based diet, you lose another 10 millimeter of blood pressure. So think about it. You lost 5 kilos in weight and you changed your diet as we tell you to change. You lowered your blood pressure by 15 millimeter. Remember what happened when the blood pressure comes down in 15 millimeter? You already eliminated one medicine. Then we say you restrict salt. We all eat too much salt, and I'll explain to you how we eat too much salt. Salt is not what you put in your food only. Salt is not what you shake on the table. Salt is not what your wife puts in the cooking. Salt is also what is contained itself in food, and also certain foods have high salt than other foods, and also processing done differently adds salt. So there are many ways of getting excess salt. So it's suffice to say right now, because I have one full session on salt, you will agree with me after that one session that we all eat too much salt. If you bring your salt intake down to 1.5 grams a day, you lose 5 millimeters of blood pressure. So if you replace to potassium salt, and we'll talk about it, you eliminate the sodium salt and take potassium salt. This is also salty, but it's potassium salt. It's another 5 millimeter of drop in blood pressure. Then if you started aerobic exercise, that's another 5 millimeter. So guess what happened now? That's additional 15 millimeter of mercury drop in blood pressure. What happens then? You eliminated your second medicine. Remember I told you every 15 millimeter, one medication? Okay. Then you also did some dynamic resistance exercise, right? Or you did some isometric exercise. Now, first of all, don't worry about dynamic resistance, isometric resistance, all that fancy words, because these are for people that go to gym. But if you're doing yoga, because in different asanas, you're supporting your own body, you're doing all resistance, dynamic and isometric and aerobic. So when you do 45 minutes of yoga, you're doing all three. You're doing aerobic exercise, you're doing dynamic resistance exercise, you're doing isometric exercise. Don't worry about it. And you quit alcohol if you're drinking alcohol. Add it all up, then dynamic resistance 5 millimeter, isometric 5, quit alcohol 5, another 15 millimeter. So you've really lost 40 to 45 millimeter blood pressure by doing this very simple 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 changes in your lifestyle. And you eliminate medicine and their side effect and their cost. And you not just lower the blood pressure, same things also help you lower your cholesterol, help you lower your diabetes, they prevent your risk, truncal obesity, they prevent your risk of heart attack, stroke, certain lifestyle-dependent cancers, chronic kidney disease. These are the benefits. This is what you need to do. Or stick with the alternative. Keep taking medicines, keep having those expenses, keeping them under the carpet, and then having these things explored at some time in the future. Okay, so we said that lifestyle change is the way to go. And we said that is the way to get wellness. And we said that the wellness that we are talking about is integrated wellness. And what is the key that unlocks all this? And that key we call DASH. A DASH is an acronym. It stands for diet, activity, stress management, and habit change. Now, don't get me wrong, there are many different ways also of getting the same integrated wellness. Some of you might come along and say, well, I take a cinnamon pill, I take a garlic pill, or I take ginger, or I take cinnamon, or I take zincoba, yes, all these things work. But what we did is we wanted you not to crawl to wellness. We did not want you to walk to wellness. We wanted you to dash to wellness. So in these 4 areas, we picked up solid, scientifically proven techniques. You do them, you get the maximum benefit. And you don't have to do those side issues. You don't have to take any Plia or any aloe vera or any of those juices and you do this and I do that. No, these are really scientifically proven methods of real change in diet, real activity, real improvement in sleep, real stress management technique, not tinkering on the edges by going to the movies and taking a walk. That doesn't control stress. Really understanding what the mechanism of stress is and habit change. This is what we have for you. When we talk about diet, and we spend 3 full sessions on diet, you have to know what happens just because you put food in the mouth and the food is eliminated. That's the end of the story. If that's all you know, then you do not have the adequate knowledge of nutrition. You need to know what happens when the food enters my mouth, what happens in the esophagus, what happens in the stomach, what happens in the pancreas, the intestine, the large intestine. Now, I don't want you to be doctors or gastroenterologists and all that. I want you to know the salient things that happen in these organs, which will then help you understand why you eat in a certain way and why you eat certain foods and why you should not eat certain foods. Because there are certain things your tongue may like, but your pancreas does not. Certain things that your tongue may like, but your liver does not. So once you understand the real anatomy, physiology, and biochemistry of digestion, you will eat differently. We'll tell you what are the foods that you should really eat that have proven health benefits and what are the foods which are unhealthy that you should avoid. And we're also going to tell you when to eat and when not to eat. There's tremendous science these days about time restriction, tremendous science of fasting. I'm going to discuss all those in detail with you, how just by changing your meal times, keep your food same, exactly same, no change. The amount of what you eat or the quality of what you eat, if you just change the times, that itself can give you 5 to 10 kilos weight loss benefits. We'll discuss all that in detail. You're going to learn the science of activity. Now, it's not just good to be active. There's certain activities that give you more benefit in health. So you need to know what activity I should do it, how long should I do it, how often should I do it, what is the value of rest, why do I need to have good sleep, why there is a sleep hygiene, why there are do's and don'ts that let you sleep, and there are certain things that don't let you sleep. You understand about the blue light, the flickering light, the night lamps, the WhatsApp, computers, what it does to your sleep in detail. And in terms of activity, you are not just listening, you're experiencing, you're actively doing these activities of Sukshma Vyayama, yogic jogging, of asanas, all these together with Swamiji. And Swamiji's presentation will tell you the most comprehensive physical activity body is the yogasanas, the most comprehensive mental activity and physical activity, the pranayamas, as well as the meditation. And you'll hear about that. Do that for 11 sessions with us and hopefully for lifelong, have the benefit of that. We're only going to give you the activities that have been scientifically proven with the studies, with the benefits. Now, stress is a ubiquitous part of everybody's life. Now, we'll discuss this in detail, but I'm just putting out here, if somehow we internalize these 2 concepts, impermanence and independence, a lot of stress goes away. Now, In the days gone by, it was difficult for me to talk about impermanence and interdependence and get it across to people as to why that you know that everything is limited and impermanent, and if you know that everything is independent, that has tremendous benefit in stress reduction. But these days, nobody has to. We all have found out in the era of COVID, and we are also found out in this era of COVID how interdependent we are, how many people are sacrificing their lives for us, the paramedics, the doctors, the nurses, the ancillary staff, the ambulance drivers. And that is the interdependence. Understand that. If we also develop the love and service for them like they have for us, huge plus to reduce stress. And if you understand the impermanence, discuss in detail what the science says, how that inculcates in you the acceptance, letting go, that really takes the stress away. So we're really not tinkering with the stress on the edges. We'll give you scientifically proven methods that you can bring in your life to uproot stress. Well, very simply put, if something is worrying you, start worrying about others. You worry about others when your life becomes we and not I. Your illness becomes wellness. So we'll discuss with you the science of compassion and why before you do compassion, you have to be compassionate to yourself. What does gratitude do? What are the studies on belonging, volunteering, purpose? All this you will know. Our biology is selfish. We were created selfish because we were created for propagation, for preservation, and for our own race to continue. But we think there's another P that's our life is for, and that's a purpose. I tell you a little story about about how this ties in. It's very easy for us to say, but difficult to practice. Many years ago, there's usually no earthquakes in Maryland. But somehow there was an earthquake. My clinic is in a multi-story building, and everything was shaking, and everybody shouted, and the alarms went off. Oh, there's an earthquake. So I was in the middle of seeing a patient, and I told the patient out and go out safe. The stairs go down. I took my stuff. I went down. I went down there, and after minutes, this was over. Then I didn't realize that when I went down, I did not check all the rooms. In one or two rooms, there were patients who were locked in there and they stayed there. Somehow one of them happened to be my wife's patients. So he went and told the story to my wife that this happened, and Dr. Sharma ran out, and but I was in there, and the whole stuff. But everything is over, and this and that. My wife came and took me and said, "How did you not check every room, made sure everybody was outside before we went outside?" Remember, I told you our genetic makeup is selfish. Looking back, I should have gone, knocked on every door, made sure everybody's out safe before I went outside, but I did not. So the reason I'm telling you this is we all have this built in our biology, but we all have to negate it. And how do we negate it? By cultivating it. How do we cultivate it? By practicing it. So we'll talk about these beautiful practices that you can bring in your life. And that to us is the real way of getting rid of stress. Stress goes away when you make your life in such a way that you take away stress of other people. Okay, so we're also going to talk about habits. Now, habit is a good thing. We all have habits. We ride bike, it's a habit. You are doing so many things. You're knitting, sewing, surgeon is doing surgery, it's all habit. That's a good thing. That's how our neurology was built. A small center called nucleus accumbens in your brain, all the habits are stored. And we are all creatures of habit. That is where we're going to discuss with you the science of neuroplasticity, how we create circuits in our brain in such a way that the information always travels along those paths. You don't have to think about it, just like the auto drive car these days. Tesla, you put auto drive and it knows where to go. Same way, your brain knows these pathways where a thought needs to go and connect with another thought and accomplish a task. It's all very good and positive. But brain center does not know, the habit center does not know what's a good habit or what's a bad habit. It treats every habit as a habit. And then you need to understand how do you then hijack that center, understand the habit loop, understand how you can then bring a habit change. So there's a way to change habit, and we'll discuss with you scientifically because at the end of the day, your whole lifestyle is a habit. What you eat is a habit. Don't exercise, it's a habit. If you smoke, it's a habit. You drink alcohol, it's a habit. You're sedentary, it's a habit. All these habits can only change if you know how to hijack your habit loop, how to retrain it for you to then have counter habits that are good for you. And it's always good to know that you cannot kill a habit forever. Habits always stay there, but you can replace them with good habits. I'll just share an example with you. And this is a beautiful experiment that was done where they decided how can we encourage people to talk and watch it. So you saw how you can actually change behavior by making a certain activity more interesting. And that is exactly what we are going to do. We are going to be doing these yoga, pranayama, and these scientific studies together with you. You're going to get opportunity to listen, know, practice, and experience, and then you're going to let your own experience be the guide that motivates you to change these habits and eat healthy and live healthy and act healthy and lead a purposeful life. So thank you very much for listening. Now I'm going to share with you, don't try to read this, this is very busy, but I'm just giving you an overview of what we're going to do. We're going to be discussing DASH over the next 11 sessions. So I'll be devoting another introduction where you really need to know the real mechanisms that go inside the body, mind, and soul that result in disease. You're going to really learn about disease very differently. What is injury? What is inflammation? What is repair? What is healing? How does that go on in the body? And how do we change the process so that it moves away from injury and inflammation to repair and healing? I'll be spending 3 full sessions on diet in different shapes and forms as I discuss with you, 2 activity sessions and 2 stress and 2 habit management sessions. And we'll discuss everything in detail. And this is going to be shared with you, and Naresh is going to put in WhatsApp for you. So once you begin the actual program starting May 11th, this is going to be our agenda that's going to be discussed with you. And the program, as you know, is in 2 parts. So in one part, I come along and I share with you all the science. So this is really the cutting edge Western published science in the Western journals, in American College of Cardiology and American Heart Association journal that I discussed with you. And the second part, you get the best of the ancient wisdom from Swamiji, who's going to be discussing with you the ancient wisdom along with practical yoga, practical Vedanta, pranayama, and meditation that you're going to learn. So this is going to be the format. But at the same time, if some of you, for whatever reason, I want all of you to join us, but somehow decide not to join, I just want you to take one practice away, which is going to help you a lot. And I call it a self-rejuvenation time practice. If there's nothing else that you do for you, try to set up at least 5 minutes, if not 2 minutes. And if you just do that 2 minutes in the morning and 2 minutes in the evening, all you need to do is sit in contemplation, silence, solitude, stillness somewhere, move everything away, all devices, and spend 2 minutes with yourself. Just focus on your breath. Feel the breath going in, feel the breath coming out, and stay with it for 2 minutes. If you do that at fixed time, 7 a.m., 7 p.m., you'll realize how much difference it makes in your wellness, because indirectly, this practice is not only giving you a good rest to your mind, but it's also giving you a tremendous discipline in life to sit in the morning, sit in the evening every day. And that discipline then spills over also in your eating habits, in your activity habits, and all the other things. So if the time permits, I'm not sure I'm doing with the time. I would like to do 2 minutes with you. If not, I would like to skip. Nareshji, how are we doing for time?
No, time we are running short.
We're running short, okay. So anyways, I'm going to share this with you, and please make sure that you do that in your spare time. So remember, what you plant today, you will harvest tomorrow. So you need to know what you plant. You plant a good lifestyle, which is based on the scientific principles and the ancient wisdom as part of the DASH program, and follow for the rest of your life. And remember, you may have a goal, I want to get my blood pressure to this. You may have a goal that I want to get my diabetes to this or my weight to this. But goal without a plan is just a wish. Thank you. Thank you for listening. And now I'll hand over to Subhutoji for any questions or answers.
Namaste, and thank you for your wonderful session. There is no specific question so far. I saw it from the participants, but there is a request. And also I thought there's a good request for Dr. Sushil Sharma that many of our participants may not be able to follow, mostly in English. So my request to Dr. Sharma, briefly in 4 or 5 minutes, if you can summarize in Hindi, because Hindi, many of the people will be more comfortable to follow. What are the great things you told so far? थोड़ा हिंदी में बोलिए तो थोड़ा आसान
रहे। हाँ, देखिए हिंदी मेरी मातृभाषा है, मैं उत्तर प्रदेश से हूँ, तो हिंदी में तो मुझे बहुत आनंद आता है। थैंक यू वेरी मच सुब्रतो जी, धन्यवाद। तो जो हम बात कर रहे हैं आज, हम बात कर रहे हैं एक जीवन शैली, एक जीवन पद्धति की, क्योंकि हम ये समझते हैं कि आपका मन, आपका शरीर और आपकी प्राण शक्ति और आपकी जो आत्मा, स्पिरिट जो है, इनका कनेक्शन है। इन चारों के लिए अगर आप अच्छा करेंगे, ठीक से करेंगे, तो उससे आपको एक कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव वेलनेस आएगी, एक ऐसा आपको अंदर से अच्छा महसूस होगा जिसका बेनिफिट आपकी बॉडी में आएगा। नाउ आप जो है, हो सकता है दवा ले रहे हो, ब्लड प्रेशर की दवा ले रहे हो, डायबिटीज की दवा ले रहे हो, डायबिटीज की क्या कहते हैं, कोलेस्ट्रॉल की, वो सब ठीक है, वो दवाएं अपनी जगह अच्छी हैं, लेकिन दवा जो है वो उसको दबाती है सिर्फ बीमारी को। दवा बीमारी को जड़ से नहीं निकालती है। जड़ से क्या निकालती है? ठीक से खाना, ठीक से व्यायाम करना, योगा करना, मेडिटेशन करना, ध्यान करना, ये सारी चीजें जो हम आपके साथ करेंगे बैठ करके प्रैक्टिकली, तो उससे आपको पता लगेगा कि कितना फायदा जीवन में उसका होता है। तो उसके लिए हम आपको ऐसा नहीं दे रहे हैं कि ऐसे आपको दे रहे हैं कि ये करिए, वो करिए, ऐसा करिए, हमने ऐसा देखा, हमने ऐसा देखा, नहीं। जो चीज वैज्ञानिक रूप से सिद्ध करी हुई है वही हम आपके सामने पेश करेंगे, जिसके पीछे साइंस है, विज्ञान है, और वो चीजें आपको बताएंगे जैसा करने से आपको अधिकतम लाभ हो। वो जल्दी से जल्दी आपकी जो दवाइयां हैं, ब्लड प्रेशर की दवाइयां हैं, कोलेस्ट्रॉल की, डायबिटीज की, मोटापे की, हार्ट अटैक की, स्ट्रोक की दवाइयां, जल्दी से जल्दी आपकी दवाइयां खत्म हो, वो आपको हम तरीके और टेक्निक बताएंगे। और वो हम आपको बताएंगे वैज्ञानिक रूप से, और आपको आध्यात्मिक रूप से बताएंगे स्वामी जी, और उसके साथ आपके साथ वो योगा भी करेंगे, आपको प्राणायाम सिखाएंगे, आपको ध्यान सिखाएंगे। तो मिल करके हम सब जो करेंगे, क्योंकि ऐसा जब हमने किया अपने जीवन में, हमने फर्क देखा, हमने और स्वामी जी ने अपने जीवन में भी देखा कि हमारे भी नंबर्स ठीक हुए, हमारा भी कोलेस्ट्रॉल ठीक हुआ। तो हमसे आपसे पहले 500 और आदमियों ने ये प्रोग्राम किया, उनका भी ठीक हुआ, तो आपका क्यों नहीं होगा? आपका भी होगा। तो हम ये चाहते हैं कि आप आएँ, हमारे साथ जुड़ें। तो अभी मैं माफ़ी चाहता हूँ, ये इंट्रोडक्शन में मैंने इस सब अंग्रेजी में किया, लेकिन मैंने आपसे कहा हिंदी में मुझे बोलने में बहुत आनंद आता है। तो अगले प्रोग्राम में अगर ऐसा होगा कि बहुत सारे लोग हिंदी भाषी हैं, तो हम उसका हिंदी में भी साथ साथ अनुवाद करेंगे, और हिंदी में भी खूब करेंगे। तो ऐसा ना महसूस करिए कि अगर आपको हिंदी नहीं आती तो आप इस प्रोग्राम में नहीं आ पाएंगे। नहीं, ऐसी बात नहीं है। हम उत्तर प्रदेश के हैं और हम आपसे हिंदी में जुड़ेंगे। और सुनने के लिए धन्यवाद। और आप ज्वाइन करिए पूरा सेशन। उसका आपको सारी इन्फॉर्मेशन जो है वो नरेश जी देंगे, अभी आपके व्हाट्सएप पे आएगी। और हमें बहुत अच्छा लगेगा अगर आप हमारे साथ ये प्रोग्राम करेंगे और इसका आनंद लेंगे और इसका फ़ायदा लेंगे। धन्यवाद।
Thank you. Oh, धन्यवाद Dr. Sharma. Over to now Naresh ji to continue further.
No, Swamiji to start with his introduction, sir.
Yes, please.
Namaskar. IWSP, Integrated Wellness Science and Practice. This is our 4th batch. Coincidentally, it's 4th May. Those who have joined us from India, my heartfelt namaskaram, suprabhatam, and those who are from outside India, accordingly, my best wishes, love and namaskars. Dear friends, we have been listening to one of the eminent interventional cardiologists from USA, having more than 30 years of experience in the field of interventional cardiologist. जो लोग एंजियोग्राम करते हैं, एंजियोप्लास्ट करते हैं, यानी हार्ट का आर्टरी ब्लॉक हो गया, उसको ठीक करते हैं, रिपेयर करते हैं, उनको बोलते हैं इंटरवेंशनल कार्डियोलॉजिस्ट। हार्ट के विशेषज्ञ जो हार्ट में दिक्कत आए उसको कुछ करके ठीक करते हैं, इंटरवेंशन। और एक होता है प्रिवेंटिव कार्डियोलॉजी। भाई हमने देखा ये जो आपका हार्ट में दिक्कत आया था उसको हमने ठीक कर दिया, उसका वजह ये था, उसको ठीक करो। उसका ठीक करने का ढंग हम बताएं, वो हो गया प्रिवेंटिव कार्डियोलॉजी। डियर फ्रेंड्स, नाउ लेट मी नो हु इज ग्रेट और ग्रेटर, इंटरवेंशनल कार्डियोलॉजिस्ट की प्रिवेंटिव कार्डियोलॉजिस्ट। मैं समझ रहा हूं आप सब लोगों का मन का आंसर यही है, भाई हम तो दिक्कत में हैं, हमको कुछ करके ठीक कर दें, वही ग्रेट है। इंटरवेंशनल कार्डियोलॉजिस्ट जो आम लोग समझते हैं, लेकिन कुछ लोग हैं बुद्धिमान लोग जिनको सोच खुल गया है, जिसको स्वामी विवेकानंद बोलते हैं एवोल्यूशन ऑफ सोल, मैच्योरिटी जिसको बोलते हैं, जिसमें आ गया है। वो बोलता है अरे भाई हमारा प्रॉब्लम हो गया, उसको ठीक किया, वो तो ठीक है, लेकिन हमको वो व्यक्ति मिले उस प्रॉब्लम न होए वो रास्ता दिखे, प्रिवेंटिव कार्डियोलॉजी। वो बोलेगा हमको प्रिवेंटिव कार्डियोलॉजिस्ट चाहिए। दैट्स वेयर अ गोल्डन स्टेटमेंट we all as medical student learned was prevention is better than cure. I treat, he cures. Bah, two statements. ये जो रोग का ठीक करने का विधान बताते हैं, क्यूर जिसको हम बोलते हैं, उससे अच्छा वो है जो उसका रोकथाम बताए, उसको कैसे रोका जाए। और at the same time we have been taught by our elders, teachers, आचार्य लोग, गुरुजन जिनको हम बोलते हैं, वो बोलते हैं हम तो भगवान के हाथ में एक इंस्ट्रूमेंट है और अपना काम करते हैं, लेकिन असल में जो है उसका जो सॉल्यूशन है बीमारी का वो देता है भगवान। ऐसे ग्रेट एमिनेंट पीपल जो पूरा जीवन एक बड़ा डॉक्टर होके जिया, वो लोग बोला है। एनीवे डियर फ्रेंड्स, आई वांटेड टू जस्ट से इफ यू कैन लर्न द मेथड्स ऑफ प्रिवेंटिंग डिसीज, you are in a state of wellness. That's why this program is designed wellness. So let me share my screen. What exactly I am going to do with you when it comes to yoga and learning of yoga, practicing of yoga to prevent all lifestyle disorders. अब की जमाने में जहां पे हम लोग सब डरे हुए हैं, किससे? मृत्यु भय। हर सामने के हर एक व्यक्ति के सामने एक बड़ा शत्रु खड़ा है जिससे हम सब लोग डर रहे हैं, दैट इज डेथ। हमारे एंशिएंट विजडम किताब में लिखते हैं यमा इज द गॉड ऑफ डेथ। तो यम के रूप में, यमराज के रूप में इस प्रेजेंट टाइम में अगर कुछ खड़ा है, क्या है? कोविड, कोरोना बीमारी। डियर फ्रेंड्स, वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड द साइंस what exactly corona is or COVID is. Why I am explaining? When you understand this, you will be able to understand what really yoga can do for you. COVID is a systemic disease. ये पूरा शरीर को बीमार करने वाला एक बीमारी है. It's not just a lung disease. सिर्फ लंग में इन्फेक्शन हो गया ऐसा नहीं, पूरा बीमार शरीर को बीमार कर सकता है. Then we say it is a thrombo hyperinflammatory vasculitis. थ्रोम्बो मतलब ब्लड को क्लॉट करता है. हाइपर इन्फ्लेमेशन, जितना हमारा शरीर में इन्फ्लेमेशन होता है जिसको हम शरीर रोक पाता है उससे ज्यादा इन्फ्लेमेशन, इट्स मोर इन्फ्लेमेशन देन यूजुअल. Vasculitis mainly affecting the blood vessels. So now you understand. Then can we also tell it as a lifestyle disease, lifestyle disorder? क्यों? अगर हमारा शरीर में हमने ऐसा कुछ चीजों को डाला है जो थोड़ा बहुत इन्फ्लेमेशन होने से उसको बहुत ज्यादा बढ़ाता है, तो इट्स माय मिस्टेक. इफ बाय रॉन्ग लाइफस्टाइल आई हैव made myself to react more than required, that means it's my mistake. है ना? So understanding the science behind the disease is what doctor exactly is going to do with it. He explained very well by giving the example of hypertension. I just gave the example of COVID. So name the disease right from common cold to cancer, right from common infection to dreaded disease like COVID, which we are all hearing and witnessing the ill effects up to death. It can also be categorized under lifestyle disorders. Dear friends, as already told, I am from Ramakrishna Mission Haridwar, working in serving in a COVID hospital, 150 bedded COVID hospital, emergency, ICU, ward, cabin, team of doctors, nurses, ward by and led by our senior monks and guided by our headquarters, Belur Mutt. Dear friends, in this time, I want to tell what I am seeing: stress, worry leading to disease. Those people who are more worried about themselves, those who are always stressed, their body immunity goes down. That's why high risk of getting disease. If you understand your real personality, who really you are, you can be free from all the stress and worries, thereby free from dis-ease or lack of easiness. That's what exactly IWSP is going to give you all. Dear friends, we will be there for a month, weekly 3 sessions, morning 6 to 7:30. I know usually most of the people's day starts after 8. So you are not going to lose your time for your work, for your professional things. Rather, you are going to gain energy and time to do your work in a better way. That's what yoga can do. What is yoga? Yoga means to become one, many becoming one. Many means we understand our body as separate, our mind as separate, and the energy behind it, which we call as soul or Atman, separate. But yoga teaches how body, mind, soul are one. Yogat yunjate. Yoga means to become one. So that's about, in brief, about yoga. In yoga, we will be mainly focusing asana, pranayama, meditation. Asana means particular postures which will make your body strong, fit. For example, somebody is doing 90% of his day activities forward bending. Majority of our activities are having a mobile in hand, going and bending forward, and always keeping the pressure on the low back and stiff shoulders. So getting frozen shoulders. So yogasana, which we call as sukshma vyayama asanas, will make you free from all those pains and aches. So why asanas, postures, some physical postures like Surya Namaskara, which we will be telling later, that posture which can make you free from dis-ease or lack of easiness will be taught. Pranayama, how to breathe properly. If you know how to breathe properly, you need not go and get admitted in a COVID hospital just because you are COVID positive. Antigen test positive, you are all right, no fever, your SpO2 is normal, you need not go to hospital. But out of stress, sometimes what may happen, your SpO2 may come down from 98 to 94 and you start worrying. So during that time, there are proven research papers which said people who practiced Anulom Vilom, alternative nasal breathing, pranayama, how to breathe properly. If you can breathe properly, you will be free from the stress that you got COVID positive. You will be free from the stress that your SpO2, oxygen saturation level, is falling down from 98 to 94. The moment you do that pranayama, breathing techniques, your SpO2 is going up and you are free from stress and you are back again happy. That's what meditation is going to bring you. Happiness, joy, finding the real joy within. I am not this body and mind, I am that highest energy. मैं उस भगवान का संतान हूं. If you are a believer of God, if you believe in energy, you will realize that energy within you. You are going to get that freshness. That's what meditation can bring in you. Meditation is a state to be attained where you go beyond this body and mind. Experience the real self within. That's what meditation will be doing for you, and you will be learning origin of yoga. There are different sects, different yoga gurus nowadays, hatha yoga, that yoga, this yoga, so many names. But dear friends, as I said, yoga originated from the people who experience the joy within. Be and make, said Swami Vivekananda. मेरे भीतर में एक आनंद है, उस आनंद का अनुभव करो. तुम अनुभव करके जीवन जीवो, तुम्हारे साथ लोग आएंगे अपने आप उस अनुभव का, आनंद का एहसास करने के लिए. भाई हमको भी बताओ. So those were called as gurus, guru shishya. So there is a great tradition, teachers and the student. So originally the yoga originated by people who experienced the joy within, who experienced that oneness between body, mind and soul. Those are the real scientists according to Swami Vivekananda. Rishi is a scientist of the inner world. बाहर दुनिया में कोरोना वायरस है, ये ऐसा करता है, इसलिए वो साइंटिस्ट नाम से बुलाया जाता है. If somebody discovers something in the outside world, he is called as material world scientist. Someone who can go beyond this material world, which is seen from gross eyes, he becomes the sukshma, the inner, the finer world, infinite world from where everything exists. He is Rishi according to Swami Vivekananda. Our Rishis have taught us. So, those Rishis who are greater than anybody else of their time, they are called as Maharishis. So, Maharishis, mainly Patanjali Yoga Sutra. So everything has originated from Maharishi Patanjali. Ashtanga Yoga we will be learning. So there is not only one definition. If you have heard from somebody this yoga, that yoga, all the myths will be busted when you join this program, where we will be dealing in detail all about yoga and practice together. Dear friends, sir, Swamiji, we are already doing exercise. My doctor has told to do exercise. What more you are going to teach? Dear friend, if you are doing already exercise, you are a good candidate to join this, because you will be learning there is something more than exercise when you do yogasana, pranayama and meditation. For example, in gym, you go and lift something. Your muscle is getting strong. Okay. But I don't know how much your mind is being focused. If at all it is focused, be focused on some music. Dum 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 dum, which is noise. But in yoga, you are told to concentrate deep within. When you do Sukshma Vyayama, what we say, for example, you got wrist pain, we do Sukshma Vyayama. You say, relax yourself, the focus is on your breath, find the joy deep within, freely move your hand. See the difference? You are getting connected to the joy within, the energy within. That is the difference between simple exercise, gym and yoga. By doing yoga, you are going to strengthen the muscles around that joint, one thing. Endurance, it will increase. Flexibility will improve. And you get the balance also, balance between body and mind, soul. Samatvam yoga uchyate. So these are the benefits of yoga over normal exercise and gym. Dear friends, what more, Swamiji? You are getting harmony within. How you are going to get harmony within? By making your body strong, physical strength. By doing yogasana, pranayama, your blood supply is going to increase. Your oxygen supply to every cell is going to increase. Your capacity to breathe in is going to increase. You need not go and get hospitalized by paying lakhs of rupees in a COVID ward, where you are given oxygen support because you don't know how to breathe properly, because you don't know how to eat properly. So when your physical strength is increased, when your vital energy is increased by following the circadian rhythm, which we call as eat when to eat, sleep when to sleep, be active when to be active. So that is in brief about circadian balance. So if you get the circadian balance, your vital energy is going to increase, and that is taught in the pranayama session. When you do this, we are also going to learn about the element behind this body, which is running this body, which we called as mind. Mind is nothing of bundle of thoughts. When you are able to understand your mind, you are at mental peace, manasik shanti. When you that, you really get that dhyo yonah prachodayat, the real intellect which can guide you through all the tough times of life. For example, one of your relative has got corona, what to do, what not to do, where to approach. If you are calm and quiet, there is some inner voice, inner guidance, inner knowledge, which will tell, do this, you will get the right direction. That can come only when you are at peace, only when you are within yourself, when you are established in your real self. That comes only when we practice meditation, prayer, pranayama, yogasana regularly. Dear friends, you are going to get samatvam yoga vichyate, harmony between body, mind and soul. That's what we will be learning in detail during our sessions. Dear friends, what we are going to learn? Swamiji, please tell some specific asanas. Yes, yogic jogging. For example, this is corona time. We don't want to go out. We are worried if you get infection. So in your room, wherever you are there, if you are aged, just move your limbs. Then you can start a little moving fast if you are young. This is called as yogic jogging. 5 minutes, 10 minutes every day yogic jogging will help you to increase the blood supply and also increase your strength. Sukshma Vyayamas, as I so told, providing exercise to all the joints of the body. Itis, arthritis, plantar fasciitis, wherever there is inflammation in the joint, because you are not providing proper exercise to that joint, you are getting pains. So Sukshma Vyayama will be relieving all the aches and pains of body. Dear friends, we have more than 500 people who joined and practiced with us. Simple common cold to low backache, so many disorders, they are treated. Their diabetes has got reversed. So we will be teaching Surya Namaskara, Shavasana, Mandukasana, Shalabhasana, Ustrasana, Gomukasana, Vrikshasana, Utthana Padasana, Sarvangasana, Halasana, Shalabhasana, Dhanurasana, Vrikshasana. We will be learning very slowly in a practical way. You will feel that I am with you always because of the good team that we have. So after learning those asanas, you will feel that physical strength. And we will be learning pranayama like Brahmari, Anulom, Vilom. Brahmari, what is Brahmari? Close your eyes, close your ears, you can experience the joy within. Breathe in, when you are breathing out, say humming sound, Om. Brahmari. Increase blood supply to brain. You will feel that fresh joy within. Brahmari. Find the peace within. Also, you will be relieved from headache and all sorts of inflammatory symptoms which we call as disease. Bhastrika, Kapalbhati, Udgit, Sarala Pranayam, Anta Pranayam, Bahya Pranayam, Ujja Pranayam and Omkara, Uma. And also, we will be meditating together. What is guided meditation? What we should do? Sit in a proper posture. Sthira Sukham Asanam. Don't move any part of your body. The moment your body is fixed, your mind is also getting fixed. When your mind is fixed, focused on the inner self, you are getting the highest joy. So we are going to guide you step by step, sharing the experience of our great teachers, right from the Sangha Gurus, President Maharaj, Vice President Maharaj, senior monks, right from our Rishis, Avatara Purushas, what they have taught based on their own experience. We will be learning guided meditation, practicing guided meditation together. Health benefits of yoga, pranayama, meditation, it is proven with through research papers. It relieved back pain, neck pain, any joint pain. It also relieves menopausal symptoms. Many mothers who practiced yoga, they came and told me, and there are research papers. It helped to quit smoking. It helped to improve the sleep quality. People used to take sleeping pill to get good sleep. They need not take once they started doing yogasana, pranayama, meditation with us. They reverse the disease, lifestyle disease like BP, obesity, diabetes, cholesterol, heart disease. They could reverse. They could stop their medicines once they starting doing. So there are research papers, and we have more than 500 people who are doing and got the benefits. It improves the lung function, critical at this pandemic COVID times. If your lung capacity is increased, your capacity to breathe in, your capacity to supply oxygen to every cell has increased. So your immunity has increased. You are going to get the highest vaccine against COVID if you practice with us at least for 1 month. And by doing this, it was found that cognitive performance were increased. So there are n number of health benefits which we will be learning in detail. Dear friends, when you join me next week, I will be guiding step by step, but few things which I would like to mention in this session itself. Please have a laptop or a big screen watching what we are teaching. Arrange a yoga mat. It should be free from all the disturbances. You should be on empty stomach ideally when you are doing yoga pranayama with me. At least 3 hours before your session, don't eat anything. Keep your cell phones away. Have a good internet connection. Wear loose and comfortable clothes. Then please read through the handout about asana, pranayama, which will be given immediately after my talk by our facilitators. Dear friends, with this, my experience of yoga pranayama with my diabetic children, there are more than 300 diabetic children who have got immense benefits. To share one example, we have a very good type 1 diabetic girl who is doing her MSc final year, very cultured family. She has been type 1 diabetic for more than 16 years. She is a role model type 1 diabetic girl, because with the help of international faculty who visit our Ramakrishna Mission Sevashrama, we have developed a unique model where we see that we give the best allopathic treatment and we teach them, and she was doing it. She required 60 units per day insulin. But after practicing IWSP practices, which Dr. Sushil Sharma has already mentioned, which we will be learning in detail, the insulin requirement came down from 60 to 20. That's what Swami Vivekananda said. What he said? Western science coupled with Vedanta, Brahmacharya as guiding motto, can do wonders. So dear friends, based on this, all the practices and experience, we are going to learn wonderful things which are going to change our life. Just not change, going to transform our lives from illness to wellness. When we can bring that illness to wellness, remove that I and replace it WEV. So I-ness should go away. We should become one we-ness. I-ness to we-ness. Journey from illness to wellness. That's what we will be doing together, dear friends. And one more example I want to share before I close. I have Acharya Mandaleshwar, senior monk in Haridwar, who required 300 units per day insulin. He was the ideal patient of mine for the last 10 years. But after practicing IWSP, he was willing. I taught him. Now he is requiring only 80 units per day. He is feeling better. He is doing everything. Goshala Seva, walking, preaching. He is comfortable. Ancient science coupled with Vedanta, one word which we will learn in detail. Brahmacharya as guiding motto. Don't get worried. We are householders. How can we practice Brahmacharya? Swami Vivekananda gave this call to everybody. Self-control. By right thinking, right living, right eating. That's what the focus of IWSP. I request all of my esteemed participants who have joined IWSP batch 4 to bring in more and more friends and relatives. I tell you, nowadays I get 100 calls per day. Swamiji, can we get oxygen bed at your hospital? He is my brother, he is my close near one. Because they love them. They are helpless, the patient is helpless, the relatives are helpless, and I am also helpless. I have got only 150 beds. I don't have 5,000 beds. The demand is for 5,000 beds. We have got only 150 beds. Ramakrishna Mission, always first come, first serve. Serve the living God in man. So based on that philosophy, we are contributing a bit in this COVID-19 time. So that's about from here, Ramakrishna Mission, Haridwar. Heartfelt thanks and gratitude to all my team, led by Subrato ji, Naresh ji, Anirban ji, and of course my co-facilitator Dr. Sushil Sharma, who are going to do amazing things, and I am sure your life will be changed. And if you stay with us, IWC for life, you will be a transformed person, finding the joy within, wellness within, integrated, comprehensive program to find the best with us. Jai Ramakrishna. Namaste. Over to Naresh.
Thank you, Dr. Swamiji and Dr. Sushil Sharma. Now, the unique combination of both of them being doctors and having so much of experience and wisdom, Asian wisdom, is a plus of this program. You may find doctor talks about only medical side, but these two doctors talks about medical science as well as lifestyle modification with ancient wisdom. That's a key of this program. I'll quickly go on. What is the next? So this is the introduction session. What you'll now listen to this for the past 90 minutes almost. What next? The actual program starts from 11th of May, that is next Tuesday, 1 week from today. So please listen carefully. This is a weekly 3 sessions, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Remember, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, we have morning 6 a.m. India time is a live, evening 6 p.m. India time is a repeat, but our doctors will be there for question and answer sessions. So remember, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, 6 a.m. live and 6 p.m. repeat. For other participants like from US and other countries, we have some participants from Singapore, Malaysia. Please calculate your time accordingly, because I don't want to confuse by giving different time here. But 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. India time, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday is when it starts. So it's going to go for 11 session, one session completed, 11 more sessions will go, close to 4 weeks it will go. So this, whatever you have listened to this is a free webinar, but until IWSP 3, it was a complete free session we had. But when we started growing and we have a couple of backend staffs and multiple other technological, means and multiple things. So this is going to be from IWSP 4 onwards, it's going to be a paid session. Please go to our IWSP, myiwsp.com. During the session, our other Karthikeyan will be sending you a banner. Please visit myiwsp.com, and there is a tab on the right side called Pay. Click that. You go to, it will take you to a remit for IWSP. You will have two options: non-Indian participants, Indian participants. So please choose accordingly. If you have if an Indian participant, choose so that it will accordingly take you. If it is a non-Indian participants, it will automatically take you to PayPal. You can use a PayPal account to pay, or credit card and debit card options. You have it. How much to pay? We have given some base minimal requirements, and then you are feel free to choose whatever you think. Please, if you visit the website, you'll be able to understand it. If you're an Indian participant, you have an option of paying through QR code as well as credit card, debit card options. You have it. Please utilize it. Once you pay it, please note down this particular one pager will be given to all of you through a WhatsApp as well as email. Immediately after payment, send the receipt of the payment to Karthikeyan at the given number with the with your exact name of the participant, so that he will account for it. Because from next session onwards, the link will go only for the people who paid. It will become a paid session. So please have a look at, and if you have any doubt, talk to Karthikeyan or talk to me, talk to our team. We'll be able to help you out. So hope I'm clear. From next session, it starts from 11th of May onwards. So before that, please do this option. Then immediately we will be sending the link to you separately, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. So please have a look at more detail if you want. You can go and you please look at our website. You can look at alumni. There are some people who participated in the past, has given more experiential outcome. And then some of the eminent people also have talked about this program after they're experiencing it. So please spend some time on looking at alumni column as well as luminaries. Also, you can spend our CeRIMed YouTube channel, where you will find a lot of old videos, what we have done it. So this is our helpline number. We have two numbers. One will be handled by Karthikeyan and another will be handled by another girl. So please talk to us, call us anytime, anything you want. I'll also send an email to this email ID. We'll be able to help you. So we will be keeping the registration open for next 1 week. After 11th, we'll be stopping and going ahead with the paid program. So that's all we have. Subrata sir, anything else you want to add?
No, nothing much. Only just a reminder, we'll be sending all the details through WhatsApp. Also, what you saw today, we had time only to introduce you to the subject. There is no chance of the time for practice. So you should be experiencing the actual practice next session, which is on next Tuesday, 11th of May. So that's the time we encourage everyone, get set, get ready, and really get the benefits and experience the power of IWSP. That's all from my side. Thank you for your participation.
Thank you so much to all who participated and stayed till the end. I know we, we moved ahead about 5-10 minutes additionally, but from next session it will be sharp 1.5 session. We'll be closing it. Thank you so much, Dr. Sharma. Thank you so much, Dr. Swamiji, Subrata sir, and Karthikeyan. So we look forward to meet all of you in the next session. So thank you so much for listening to us. Bye.